You're listening the Virtual CISO podcast, providing the best insight on information security and security IT advice to business leaders everywhere.
If you are not paying for a product, then you are the product. Can you talk a little bit about that? How did we get here? And how bad is this problem actually? Because I think most people don't realize how bad it is.
Sure. Yeah. I think that, so first of all, thank you for watching. It was an amazing experience, and those guys do a great job of really forcing you to articulate your thoughts in a very short time. But, I think I started the talk talking about originally, the premise was on the internet, nobody knows you're a dog, right? That's the classic cartoon, the New Yorker. And originally, I think you could have all this anonymity on the internet. And then over time, it became, oh, wait a minute. If we give you some of the things that you would like to do on the internet, maybe you will exchange that for some of your data. And then further over time, it became even more insidious. Maybe we won't even ask you if you want to give up your data. We'll just start offering you more and more things, and we're going to make the terms of service 75 pages long, and the chances of you actually reading them are slim to none. So I think when you go to services, when you go to something like a Facebook, when you go to these other platforms, that at the end of the day, their bottom line is advertising. How much can they advertise to you, and how much can they monetize that advertising to you? And so you have all these, quote, free services, whether it's social networks, whether it's games, whether it's search, and all they're doing is saying, great, I'm going to gather more and more data about you so that I can sell things to you. And I think, it reached a little bit of a tipping point for me, because it's pretty alarming that I can now not even be searching for something, but just talking about something. So we don't even have any Alexa devices or other of those kinds of devices in our house, both from the cybersecurity aspect as well as from the 700th time that the kids set an alarm for 7 minutes later to have Alexa go off. We said, no, that's not a good idea. But even without that, you'll be having a conversation. Your phone will be somewhere in the room. And then the kinds of things that you're talking about will be served up to you in your Facebook ads or in your Instagram ads or in some other ads where you're like, well, that's weird. I didn't even search for a vacation in Jamaica. I just had a conversation with my husband about it. And now all of a sudden I am getting ads on it. And so you see how pervasive and interconnected that is today, and you realize, great, I haven't paid for some of the services that come with my phone. I've certainly paid for, the phone service and the device itself, but I'm not paying for something like Facebook. I'm not paying to search and crawl the web on Google. I'm not paying for all of those things, but I am paying in the fact that I have, minimal privacy compared to what you had a decade ago, and they know so much about me.
Yeah, the one thing which you pointed out, and we know a little bit about because we've worked for some of the companies in the space, is the data aggregation issue. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and it is, so some of that is pseudonymous, fine, but a lot of it, it's very hard to actually wipe your data from anywhere on the internet. And then it's not just on the internet, it's some of these back-end providers that have been around for a while. And, a few years ago, we got a note from the IRS basically saying, hey, we flagged something, as potentially a fraudulent return because they tried to get money back. And, unfortunately, we know you never get money back. But it turns out, I don't know if you remember when Equifax was breached.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That was one of the granddaddies.
Yeah, that is a crazy business model. I am going to collect all this data about you, and then I'm going to sell that to other people. And if you want to protect that data, you then have to pay me. Well, now I don't have to pay you because you lost my data, so you're providing that to me for free. So oops. But, those kinds of models, they're collecting data from every kind of source that they can imagine. They remember addresses that I don't even remember I had. And they are able to build these profiles, and then they own the data. They have, very little oversight in terms of how they're securing that data. And they're able to sell it. They're able to monetize it, which seems insane, right? For you to not be able to say, no, please remove me from all of that.